If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
In Combine, we are live here on the Reality Check on WNST. Glenn Clark, Nestor Aparicio with you, and very pleased to be joined right now by the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, Mr. John Harbaugh. Coach, like I said, it's just a lazy weekend, nothing to do, just hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out in Indianapolis, what a better spot. It's a garden spot. Actually, it's nice. I mean, this, as you know, Glenn, it's a great town for sports. They have all the conventions here, and all the hotels are hooked together, and it's pretty neat. Big Ten championship here in a few weeks, so it's all good.
Yeah, we were actually thinking this would have been a good place to be a couple weeks ago. I'm sure you thought that too.
There was a little sporting event a couple weeks ago that we probably thought we should have been at.
Does it bother you to come here a little bit? Maybe.
Sure. Why not? As you sit in the stadium, you look around, you're like, you know what? Should have been in here. Still feel that way.
Here's the deal. We talked to your brother yesterday. He didn't remember who sent the first message the week after the championship games. He said, I just honestly don't remember who it was and how it went. Do you remember which of you sent a message first?
No, I don't. I think I did because they were playing when we finished. They were getting ready. They were on the field, and then right when his game was over, I texted him or something like that. So I probably did.
How did you follow his game?
You know what? I didn't catch it till I guess it was on TV in the plane. It was on TV in the plane. So you got a little bit of that, and then I got home. We got off the plane. I'm just thinking through it now. I got in my car. I turned on the radio, and I think it was over. I think it had just been over. Then I was listening to figure out what happened. I didn't see the punt return plays or anything like that. So then I had to get home and see the highlights. That's what it was.
It must be a hell of a day for you, for your family, for your parents, for your wife. I mean, it was a hell of a day for everybody in Baltimore, everybody in San Francisco. But for you guys specifically, that's tough to rebound. Yeah. Harbaugh's got to be tough to get back from that.
The drama, I guess. That's what that makes everybody interested in sports, I guess, and football and everything else. But it was really something. I mean, that's something we're never gonna. I mean, you can't put it into words, Nestor. There's no way to really describe. No way to predict what it means. So some people smarter than us are going to have to figure out what it all means. But I know one thing: I'm never going to get over it. It's never going to be okay. I'm disappointed. I'm at peace with the guys. I'm happy with the way we played. I'm okay with everybody. But the fact that we lost the game, man, you never get over it.
Is it easier for you now than it was your first season when you guys lost in the AFC title game?
No.
Okay.
No, maybe it's harder in some ways.
Really?
There's so much more ground's been plowed. We've been down the road so far with our guys. It's probably a little tougher.
Let's ask the important question. I guess we already got the answer from Ozzie a couple of minutes ago. Ed Reed is going to be back in 2020.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a big question, to be honest with you. I felt like everybody that's why I've been going by that all along.
I think we thought he was going to be back, but I guess we needed that. He's definitely going to be back. Someone is going to want me to ask, did you think that Ed was still Ed Reed this season in every way? Was he still the exact same player that he's been? Or did you start to see signs where maybe Ed had a couple things had affected him, especially the injuries?
Right. Well, you know what? Physically, I didn't really see any difference. You can't say a guy's the same as he was when he was 22, 23, 24, but I thought he was in the best shape of his career since we've been here in 2008. The most healthy he's been, physically in the best shape. He really worked really hard in the offseason. He really took care of himself. He's moving around really well. People really did not throw the ball his way. Offensive coordinators and quarterbacks very much account for him. They're not going to throw the ball downfield too much. And when they did, he made some great plays downfield for us. So the tackling part of it, I think Ed's smart in some ways. The Cincinnati one, he'd like to have that one back. Sure. But the other ones, he found ways to get guys down. So if he wasn't quite smashing in there like he did before, he'd probably tell you he's probably just being smart in some situations there. But as far as playing pass defense and all those kind of things, no question, I'd say he's the same guy he's been for the last few years, or better even.
I think one of the things the fans talking the most about on our station has been, Flacco and Rice and franchising and long-term contracts. I guess from the coach's perspective, this is a time where you don't even want to answer those questions because it's completely out of your hands. You're just going to coach them up once they get signed, right?
Yeah, well, we have a plan. We sit down as an organization, we kind of figure out a plan, and we've got a plan that we're going to attack, and we're going to go after not just those two guys, but all the different contract situations. I mean, you can go right up and down. There's a lot of things. A lot of things depend on what one person does because there's a pool of money. So we'll have to see if this guy signs. If he doesn't sign, opens up money for somebody else. That's just kind of work itself out. So it'll be fun to see how it plays out. And we want them all back. We know we can't get them all back, but you want them all back.
And they were all there last year. Why wouldn't you want them back?
Exactly.
The AFC title game. Yeah. He's John Harbaugh. He joins us here at the Combine in Indianapolis on WNST. John, let me go back to safety for a second, only because there's an interesting scenario there with you've got two free agent safeties behind your starters, and one guy that's been a starter for a long time as he's been here.
Right.
Does Ed's return affect that at all, or does it? You have to sort of plan. Well, he's here this year, but Ed might not be here forever.
Well, yeah, we have to build up the safety situation. I mean, we always have to do that. And we've got two guys that really contributed really well for us, in Zibby and Haruki, special teams and defensively. Of course, we'd like to have those guys back, but we're going to have to see what the market says and everybody's worth, because you just never know what people are going to put that value on it. And then we're going to have to see how much money we have when the time comes, who we're going to be able to bring back. But we'd like to get those guys back. Yes, we have to address the safety position one way or another. I mean, bringing some new guys in would be a plus too, and that's not something that we're opposed to doing. You can always try to be as good as you can be, whether you keep guys, you bring new guys in, we'll have to figure all that out.
And you've seen the same thing we've seen for 15 years here. There's something about Ravens defenders that when they do hit the open market, they're going to be worth more just for being part of this defense.
We had a chance to talk to Don Martindale, we just hired as a linebackers coach, and they'd signed Justin Bannon a couple years ago. Yeah. It's just exactly what he said, Brian. He said there's added value for those guys because of the culture that they bring with them and the leadership and the style of play that they add to a defense, for some other team around the league.
I guess the Jaguars figured that out last year with Dewan Landry.
Yeah, people are willing to pay for that. It's good for our guys, and we appreciate that. If a guy like Dewan goes out, or Justin goes out, or one of these other guys can make that big, payday, you gotta be happy for him. And maybe a couple years down the road, we'll get him back too, so that's okay too.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.